Hello and welcome to this edition of Pop and Scott Talk Baseball. How you doing today, Dad?
I'm not doing bad. They had me teach first and second grade this morning. I had 18 kids, so it was a lot of fun. So I had a good time.
Good. Just to let y'all know that's Sunday school. We're talking on Sunday and
Sunday afternoon we're taping.
Yeah. So and the reason I do that is I have another video that comes out on Sunday night just to spread out my videos for your watching enjoyment. So nothing crazy this week. Just the basic.
Yeah, that was crazy last night.
I must have. Well, I was watching football, so
that was crazy last night. I'm telling you.
What happened last night? Let us in.
Baltimore Orioles and the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yes.
The Dodgers,
go ahead. I know about this. Yeah.
They had a no-hitter with one out to go. They take Yamamoto out of the game, and they brought in Trinan, who pitched great last year, and he gave up 4 runs, and they lost 4-3. So the Orioles came back in the last inning with one out to go and scored 4 runs and beat the Dodgers. The Dodgers have lost 6 in a row now. Take it from me, folks. They're probably going to make the playoffs, but the Dodgers are done.
Yeah, they'll make the playoffs, no doubt about it.
Because there's nobody. I mean, there's nobody. The Giants won 5 in a row and looked like they were doing okay, and then they lost yesterday. I mean, it's just, they'll make the playoffs, but
at least as a wild card. I mean, there's nobody.
I mean, San Diego. We'll go through the standings later, but they're down 1 game. But San Diego hadn't done anything. They let the Orioles sweep them in San Diego. I watched that. I watched some of that. They showed some in the afternoon.
Well, I mean, I've talked about this for the last few years. I think baseball's got what they wanted. They wanted parity in the league, so everybody is about the same. So any given week, if you're not facing the top 2 pitchers, you got a shot in a 3-game series. And, there's ups and downs, and there's no really – you look across the league, there's a lot of head scratching and a lot of, that might be your Cy Young winner. That might be your, MVPs are a little bit, especially, in the National League. I don't want to say, I really think Ohtani should not get it this year. I think Schwarber should get it.
Well, there's another Philly. In the last half of the season, he's hitting about 385, bunch of stolen bases, bunch of home runs, a bunch of runs knocked in. Playing fantastic shortstop. And that's Turner.
Yeah.
Turner right now,
I thought you were going to say that. It's just his first half of the year wasn't.
Well, yeah, but that sometimes it's not what you did before.
Yeah.
It's what everybody remembers.
What's in the forefront.
Ohtani has won, 3 out of the last 4 value.
So it makes harder.
Last 5. So people don't want to vote for him.
Right.
So they're going to vote for somebody else because Ohtani's pitching this year, so he's not stealing all the bases like he did last year and all that stuff. And the Dodgers are just playing horrible. I mean, they're playing worse than that.
And I think I don't know if they're playing, they're going to be in the playoffs and all, but they're not what they expected.
The problem with the Dodgers is there's 2 things. One, some of their players are getting a little age on them. And the second thing is that they have over 1,200 hours of IL on that roster.
Right. And that has to go some with the age and some with whatever they do in the pitching group. I don't know. Well, them and the Orioles have the same pitching thing going on.
In this past week, the Orioles pitching's been brilliant.
But injuries.
They didn't do what they should have done when they could have done it, and that was last year. But this week, if I had to pick 2 teams playing the World Series, it'd be the Yankees and the Phillies. And they're just playing great ball.
But next week it'll be somebody. Well, Phillies are the most consistent.
I'm still pulling for Milwaukee, and I'm going to say right here, I'm not pulling for Seattle because if I say I'm pulling for Seattle, they'll lose.
Right.
So, but I'm really pulling for Milwaukee. I'd love to see Milwaukee. To me, they've earned it. They had the best record in the second half of the season. Detroit, another team I really like a lot, has one starting pitcher. I said it earlier in the year when I saw him against Toronto. Struble is, then you're just rolling the dice with the other guys, and Mize and that bunch. I mean, you're just rolling the dice. So, and they're in the Central Division. And when they play the Yankees, they won't score. So, it's going to be fun. And then college football started, and I'm wearing my Virginia stuff today because my basketball stuff, because that's my team. And I sat there yesterday and I told my wife, I said, you see this, honey, where they just lost this game? Throwing an interception in the end zone, 1:20 left on the clock, driving for the winning score. I said, I've seen that for 70 years.
Yeah.
They know.
I was sitting here. I was, when they missed the field, when they had to go for a field goal and then they missed it, I was like, well, that's the game.
Well, the other thing, let's be honest. Their offense was fine, but their defense couldn't stop running.
Neither defense was.
No, neither defense stopped anything. But anyway, I digress from that.
And the offenses got tired, I think, is what happened.
But I'm still a big fan, and I hope that coach is successful. But gotta give him some
time.
ACC outside of Florida State, I don't know if they're going to do anything. But anyway. And then you said something about we might make our Super Bowl picks at the end of the show today. So I don't know if we're going to do that or not. But anyway.
I wasn't prepared, but we always do. But I could pick two teams.
The season started.
Yeah, I could pick two teams just as well today as next week, so it don't really matter.
Well, if you want to wait a week and see what they do, that's fine.
No, I could go ahead and pick today. I don't think
we'll do it at the end. But I'd just like to say, well, the Dodgers also got some other great news. Will Smith, the all-star catcher, probably the best player on their team this year. He's playing, but he's got a bone bruise, and it's going to bother him the rest of the season. It's going to hamper his swing and that the rest of the season. The Cubs, they signed right-handed pitcher Aaron Civale and Carlos Santana after they were let go by other teams. And the Phillies signed Walker Buehler. And send him down to AAA. So the Cubs, they're playing 500 base points in the last 24 games or something. I think they said yesterday when I was watching them playing the Nationals for a little while, which they lost to the Nationals 2 in a row in Chicago. They said that the Cubs were playing. What were they? They were 11-12 in their last 23 games. You're treading water. So, I mean, they're going to be in the playoffs, no problem. But there are a lot of disgruntled people in Chicago about their manager, and he's one of the best. I just thought I'd bring that up. Let's see what else we have. Justin Verlander of San Francisco, he threw last Saturday. He threw 121 pitches. And he threw 121 pitches, but he had 10 Ks, so he moved up the list. He pitched yesterday, so he moved up the list. I don't know if you heard about this, but Juan Soto is the only player with 30 home runs for 3 years with 3 different teams.
No, didn't know that, but
he's been on 3 different teams. He's hit 30 home runs on 3 different teams on the Padres, the Mets, and the Yankees. That's pretty amazing. Let's see. The Padres, they lost one of their all-star relievers, Jason Adam, with a ruptured tendon in his left quad. So he's out for the year. Now, does it hurt their bullpen? Oh, yeah, it hurts their bullpen. But they've got a lot of guys in the bullpen. Right. And so their problem is they haven't been able – they're like the Dodgers. They haven't been able to score runs. It looks like the West Coast is just a hard place to score runs. Arizona, Lourdes Gurriel tore his ACL in the outfield earlier in the week. He's out for the year. The Mets, Jesse Winkler was on the rehabbing, and he messed his oblique up again. So They don't know when, if and when he'll be back. Here's a big injury. Boston. Roman Anthony, the rookie outfielder, has on the IL with a left oblique injury. So he's out, and that really hurts Boston. Right-handed pitcher Spencer Arrighetti of the Houston Astros is out with elbow inflammation, and Flambeer Valdez, he's having all kinds of problems. He can't get anybody out now. And I'm rooting for the Brewers, but Christian Yelich's back is messing up again. He had an operation last year, and he thought he was past it, but it's starting to irritate him again. He's not on the IL yet, but they're resting him. And then Kansas City, who's making a run, they made a little bit of a run. They've lost Seth Lugo with a lower back injury. He's on the IL. And Aaron Judge returned to the outfield so they could put Carlos back in their on their DH. So they're going to have their full lineup. Cody Senga of the Mets, his earned run average the first half of the year before he got hurt was 192, and now since he's come back at 691, they sent him down to AAA to work on some stuff to see if he can come back up. And Wilson Contreras of St. Louis.
Yes. Well, his last start, everything was over in the middle of the plate. Everything.
Yeah, he was getting rocked.
Mm-hmm.
Because I saw it they were showing it on MLB. Wilson Contreras of St. Louis, remember he screamed at the umpire, threw the bat, hit the coach in the face and everything. He appealed his 6-game suspension, and it is dropped down to 4, and he started the suspension Friday night. And then yesterday, this was kind of fun. Baltimore yesterday, they celebrated on the 6th of September 1995. Cal had 2,131 consecutive games, and it was the anniversary Saturday, and they had all these dignitaries there from all kinds of different teams, and there was a whole bunch of people there. And
that was the other thing, was it was Cal Ripken night. Ripken was there.
Yeah,
they came from behind in the ninth inning with all that stuff coming off. That ninth inning. So. Yeah,
and Milwaukee also lost a reliever, Nick Mears, to a back tightness. So he's on the IL. And then, of course, early yesterday, Davey Johnson passed. 82 years old. He won 2 World Series as second baseman with the Orioles. Then he was the manager of the 1986 Mets that beat the Boston Red Sox.
He's a legend in New York. So.
With the ball going between Buckner's legs. Well, he's won more games as the Mets manager than any other manager. He won 595 games. And just think about this. Cal Ripken was playing shortstop then when he was playing second base for the Orioles. That's pretty powerful. That's hard to beat for a double play combination right there.
That? No, Davey Johnson didn't play second then.
I thought he did.
No, it was with Jim Palmer pitching.
That's right. When he was before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there when they had what was his name?
He was there with Brooks Robinson.
When they had Bellinger was the shortstop.
At the beginning of Bellinger's career.
And so he was. Susie said she remembered him more as a player. She remembered him when they won that World Series because we were watching.
He was a Nationals coach too. So
yeah, he managed the Nationals for a few years, and he did a good job with what he had.
Yeah,
I mean, a coach or a manager is like a guy driving a wagon with horses. He's only as good as the horses.
Right.
So you can guide the horses better than another driver, but if you don't have the horses, you ain't gonna win. All right. Looking at the standings, Toronto has a 3-game lead on New York, and they're playing the rubber game today in Yankee Stadium between the two of them. Toronto won the first game. The Yankees, Gil pitched yesterday and did a good job, and the Yankees won yesterday 3-1. 4.5. Boston's 4.5 back. Detroit is up 8.5 on Kansas City, and Houston is with all their injuries, is still up 3.5 games on Seattle because Seattle's having trouble. But they did win yesterday. Both teams won yesterday. And Houston is doing their part by knocking Texas out of everything. I mean, in the National League, the Phillies have a 7-game lead on the Mets. Milwaukee's up 6.5 on the Cubs. The Dodgers are still up 1 on San Diego, but they look rough. And in the wild card, the Yankees are up 5 games on the Red Sox for the first position, and then the Red Sox are up 3.5 on Seattle, and Seattle is only up 1 game on Kansas City. So Seattle better get their act together.
Right.
And then Texas, even losing yesterday, is only 1.5 back. So there's a lot of teams in that. The American League, the National League's cut and dry. It's pretty much set. The Cubs are 5 games up on the Padres, and the Padres are 1 game up on the Mets. And then 4 games up. The Mets are 4 games up on San Francisco, and San Francisco won 5 in a row, and then they lost yesterday. So they're going out. So it looks like it's going to be the Cubs, the Padres, the Mets, and then the Phillies, Dodgers, and Milwaukee. Those are going to be the 6 teams. But the American League, that could be a little tricky because they've still got 3 weeks to go. I mean, we still got a ways to go yet. So, like we said this last week and the week before, one team gets hot, wins about 5 games in a row, 6 games in a row, like San Francisco. They got back to within 3 games. Now they lost a game and then they fell back some. So, in Cincinnati, they just hello, goodbye. And they started that last week when they did that. So
yeah,
I watched some of the games this week, and one thing I've noticed is that you can tell. This is the time of the year. Sometimes you can tell the teams that are still playing for something, and the other teams that are just playing out the season.
Now, I like to watch that to see what teams have a little fortitude in them and want to finish the season strong.
The thing that bothers me about that, because they talked about that on MLB the other day, and the thing that bothers me about that is you're playing for a job.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're playing. Now I'm just using the Nationals as an example because they play hard. They don't win a lot, but they play hard. Those kids play hard. But if they come out there and they're just going through the motions to get to the end of the season, at the end of the season, they might bring somebody else in to play center field and you're gone. And you haven't impressed any other team because you haven't played hard.
Right.
I want you to play hard. So I don't understand that. They were talking about that, but I noticed a couple of teams, they just, some, not necessarily all the players, but a few of the players. I'm not going to mention any names, but there's one of the players for Pittsburgh Pirates, and he just nonchalance and, oh, well, maybe I'll catch this one and maybe I won't. Maybe I'll leg this out to a double or I'll turn around and go back to first. I mean, he's just one guy plays for Pittsburgh, drives me crazy. Doesn't do it all the time. Drives me crazy. Oh, I did see this. You know how much I'm old school, where the third base coach actually had a job.
Right.
Where the players looked for him and not the ball. Well, it was the Brewers. Third base coach, I can't remember who it was. The guy was on first base. The line drive, the base hit the center field, and the center fielder caught the ball, went to throw it, and the ball flew up in the air when he was taking it out of his glove. Went behind him. The guy came around second base and saw him reaching for the ball and came to third, looked back again, and turned to third and went home. And the third base coach was trying to stop him. He ran right by him, looking at the ball, got thrown out of the play. And they have this thing on a noon show on MLB, and it's called Baseball-y Plays, where they show goofy play, and they were criticizing this guy. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And they're talking, he didn't look at the coach, and I'm going, who does? Show me one play where a guy's looking at the coach and not looking at the ball. They all look at the ball. Show me a play. I dare you. They can't. The only way the guy's going to stop at third is if he thinks he's going to be thrown out. He'll stop on his own. He's not going to stop because the coach told him. That guy didn't. Because after he rounded third, he took 3 steps. He had to run right by. The coach is standing there with his arms up, and he ran right by him. Didn't even look at him. He's still looking back at the field. So I said I was only going to mention this one time. First show of the year, but something else came up. Catchers on one knee. We talked about it before where if the ball is off to the side, they can't swing their body over to block it like they used to. That's fine because they said that doesn't happen as often as they can frame a pitch. I agree. That's fine. If you think that's better, that's better. Now there's another problem. High fastballs. These guys are down on one knee. I saw it. It was in Baltimore was playing. They were playing in San Diego. The San Diego catcher was on one knee. The relief pitcher for San Diego, runner on third, threw a ball 99 miles an hour, about that far above the catcher. In a crouch, boom, he catches it. This guy's on a knee. He tries to get up and catch it. It goes over his head, hits the backstop, and runs for it. So now the announcers are talking about it. Oh, well, one knee, you can't get up there and get the ball and all that. I said, gee whiz. It only took you 3 years to figure that out. But now I've seen that happen twice in the last 2 weeks where it was a high fastball and the guy just couldn't reach it because he wasn't in a crouch. And the rookie catcher for the Orioles, the young kid, Balio, or however you pronounce it, that they signed for the 8-year deal. When there's runners on base, he gets back in his crouch. He doesn't get on the knee. So I said, oh, my kind of catcher. But anyway.
I still don't know about the framing thing. They can sit there and tell me all you want. How does it help them frame all they? Horse
your nephew, my grandson, was a catcher in Little League, and I remember when he was in about the 9 and 10-year-olds, he was starting to learn how to frame. Well, he never got on one knee. He was sitting in a crouch and he was still trying to frame.
I've watched catchers for 50 years, and then this phenomenon of the one knee, and it helps them get smaller behind the plate. I understand that, but don't think the umpires know that? I don't. The umpires are just bad. Bad umpires are bad umpires.
Then it's not helping the balls and strikes.
No.
I mean, I was sitting there the other day.
I want to know how many actually they steal. I'm sure there's some catchers, but I mean, there was always catchers that were better at framing than other catchers. It's an art. Just by putting your one knee down doesn't make you a better artist. I can't draw better.
Well, I mean, it's to me, it takes away from the defensive part of the game some. But I admire these catchers that can get on one knee, get up and throw a guy out at second base when he's trying to steal. That's amazing. But I watched some of the best catchers in baseball: Yogi Berra, Roy Campanella, Del Crandall of the Milwaukee Braves, and people like that. Man, they came up out of that. I mean, when they caught that ball, they came up firing to second base. You had to be really good to steal a base on those guys. So, I'm like you. I've watched these guys. It was okay to do that for over 100 years. Now all of a sudden you got to get on a knee. Okay.
And then you're opening up the whole side of your body to
an injury.
Yeah, foul balls. I don't get it.
You're kneeling down and your shin protector's flat on the ground. So unless a mole comes up and try to bite you on the shin bone, it's not going to protect you. But you're going to catch a foul ball or a ball thrown in the dirt can come up and hit you right in the thigh. Oh, that's going to feel good. So anyway, maybe they'll let them suit up in armor and come out there and catch next.
I don't know. I was waiting for a flap or something to come out to cover up that thigh, but I haven't seen anything. And I've seen more and more catchers take foul balls to just that side of their body as well, because it just doesn't feel like they can get the glove across.
Yeah, and then there was another game where the umpire both teams were complaining about the balls and strikes and being called. And finally, they're pretty sure nobody could prove it,
Oh, it hit him on purpose.
The catcher acted like he got crossed up on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, went right over his shoulder, and now it hit him in a chest protector, but it knocked
Right.
him out of that guy.
Yeah.
And I had saw a report where after the game was over, the umpire wasn't the umpire behind the plate, but it was the head crew chief. I think it was at first base. After the game was over, I want to say it was the Cubs, but I'm not sure. He went to the manager and told him, "I hope that wasn't on purpose." And that's all he told him. He turned around and walked away. But that's what I read that. I mean, I saw the replay. I saw the replay of it, and he got drilled. But
well, so next, whenever they go to the automated umpire, or they go throw one at the box, it's
the eye in the sky or whatever they're going to use.
I mean, umpiring, it's gotten better, and there's a handful that you know is bad. When you see them, you know it's going to be a long night.
I umpired high school baseball for 3 years and girls softball. I umpired it for 3 years. Yeah, and off and on, I umpired slow pitch softball for years. And it's not easy. Close plays in that are not easy, and you got to make a snap judgment.
Well, you can umpire high school baseball. These guys are throwing 100 moving fastballs. It's tough, but they see it all the time, every day. Day in, day out. It shouldn't cross them up, or they should have a pretty good idea of where the strike zone is.
It's their job.
It's their job. They're professionals. And I have a tough time with that, especially with we sit there and look at the misses for the week. There's a couple of YouTube channels, and man, it's not even close. And they'll tell you how many, how far off there are.
Well, and the bad thing is, it's bad enough that they miss a call, but when they miss a call that causes the outcome of the game to maybe change,
if you miss a call and a guy gets thrown out the game because he looked back at you and was like, "Are you kidding me?" That's questioning him, so he throws a guy out of the game. That changes the complexity of the game. That guy was in the game. Now somebody else has to come in the game. Now you don't have that guy on the bench, all because you can't call balls and strikes. And then your ego won't allow you to take a word or two.
Well, the Washington manager last week got thrown out of game because early in the game, the Nationals had 2 men on and 1 out. And it was 3 balls and 1 strike on the batter. And the pitcher threw the ball about, I'd say it was that far below the strike zone. And he called it a strike. So now it's 3. Instead of the bases loaded and 1 out, you got 3 and 2 on the batter. And the batter, he swung at the next pitch and popped out. Well, the manager was hot because they were all hollering from the dugout, that's on you and all that stuff. So then later in the game, the Washington pitcher had 1 ball and 2 strikes on the guy, and he fires a ball in the strike zone. Now, granted, the catcher had to reach across the strike zone, but it was well in the strike zone, and the umpire called the ball.
Yeah, that happens a lot, and I'm like, the plate didn't move. The catcher was in a different spot. Did you not see where the catcher was?
And so then that guy, the next pitch, he got a base hit. He got a base hit, knocked in a run, and the whole Washington bench was screaming, and the manager got thrown out because he went off on the guy. I mean, I don't blame him for being hot. If I'd have been the manager, I'd have been thrown out.
Yeah,
there was 2 pitches that one took something from your team, and then the next one gave it to the other team, and that it's just those are the other thing. If you're coaching or managing a team, if an umpire is calling all the balls a little low strikes, that's his strike zone for the day.
Right.
But this year, I've noticed they don't do that all the time.
Right.
They call the same pitch. They'll say it's called the same pitch, a ball, or this strike, and so then the batter has no idea what's going on.
If you watch umpires, they like to sit on in the outside part of the plate shoulder. So they're always looking across instead of, so their line of their eyesight changes between a right-hander and left-hander. I ain't making excuses, but that has to contribute to it. But still, you have to know where the strike zone is. You've done this. This is your job. I don't care if you're standing on top of your head. You should be able to call balls and strikes. You're going to miss some. Everybody's human.
Yeah, well, I agree. You can't make every right call. It's too hard.
Right.
Every sport, officials miss calls.
And that's part of the story. I mean, that's just it.
Of course, I've always said before how many of them were missed in the days going by, but there wasn't a square up there to tell you, a rectangle up there to tell you where the ball was.
Or you just didn't have a camera in center field at all.
Yeah, well, when I first started watching baseball, they had a camera up behind the plate, and you saw the plate. You saw the field, and that's how you watched the game.
I mean, I know days where it was. I mean, the whole thing with having all those cameras around the field, that's maybe 20 years. I mean, that's relatively new, but opposed to how long baseball's been around. But we'll end it on there today. What you said you had something last week was the aliens. What do you got this week for us?
Well, if we're going to make up Super Bowl picks, maybe I'll save it. But I'll do it. I'll go ahead and do it. It's some kind of a Discovery Channel thing. But anyway, this couple is going into a cave to search for ghosts. It's on Okinawa, where they had one of the last big battles of World War II, and a lot of people got killed, some innocent, and people hid in the caves. So they say there's ghosts in the caves. So they go in there with these etch-a-sketches that draw these little guys on there. So they're standing there and they point it, and then this little stick figure comes up there. Oh, there's a ghost. Now, they can't find one. So the young lady, she goes, "We're not here to hurt you. You can come out. We're not here to hurt you." I'm going, unless they've been using Babel for the last 70 years, they're speaking Japanese, not English.
Yeah.
So they don't understand what you're saying. You sound like an idiot. So, I mean, that's the thing that got me.
Yeah, they'll tell you that in the ghost realm, they can understand all languages. And I'm like, how do you know that? But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they had to ask a ghost to do it.
Yes.
Tell them that.
But yeah, so tell us your picks, Dad. Give me your picks.
Well, real quick, the obvious thing in the AFC is to pick Kansas City, because until somebody can beat them, can prove to me they can beat them. And so Buffalo's out. They have their defense isn't good enough. Kansas City will score on their defense, but I'm not going to pick Kansas City. I'm going to pick the team that has the best.
Chargers.
Huh?
Chargers.
No. The Baltimore Ravens have the best. They have the best defense and offense in the league. They have the best. They're better than Philadelphia. Sooner or later, Baltimore is going to win the thing. And don't blame Mark Andrews for dropping a 2-point pass for the 2-point conversion. That's BS, because the coaches blew that game. Earlier in the game, they scored and they went for 2 points because they were 2 points behind and they didn't make it. If they'd have kicked the extra point, they could have kicked that extra point then and won the game in overtime, because they were just running up and down the field on Buffalo. They had them beat. They kicked the extra point. It's a tie game. Don't blame Mark Andrews. That's on the coaches. Now, all the talking heads on television, on ESPN, Fox, and all these, FS1, all of them, pick a show. NFL Network, I haven't heard anybody say anything about that decision causing them the game. The poor Mark Andrews, he felt so bad because he dropped. Of course he did, but it wasn't his fault. The coaches blew that game. These coaches that go for 2 points early in the game, they're morons. I mean, I'm sorry. That's just the way it is.
Right.
Anyway, so I'm going to pick Baltimore. In the NFC, I mean, I guess I was going to pick the Rams, but I don't know if the quarterback's going to be healthy all year. He's got a bad back, and I know what a bad back is, and he's got some age on him. So I'm gonna just go with Philadelphia again. I'm gonna say Philadelphia and Baltimore in the Super Bowl. I don't know what else to pick in the NFC.
Yeah, Philly. Yeah, that can't really not a bad pick there. I'm up in the air because I think the Chiefs have some problems. I think Buffalo is going to break through, but I'm going to have to go Eagles Buffalo. Eagles to me are the best team. They're the best well-rounded team. I mean, I watched the first half the other night, and other than I've heard that their defensive lineman got baited into spitting on another person, which I don't understand how somebody can be baited into spitting on anybody unless you dare them or something. I don't know, but
you can be baited if you're a clown.
Yeah, that's if you don't have the know-how. But that's probably about where I'm going to go. But NFL is just so wide open. All it takes is one injury and it doesn't.
Oh, that's why everybody watches it. That's why it's the most sport.
Yeah, and it's they only have 16, 17 games. So. All right, Dad. Well, we're going to leave it at that. And thanks for everybody watching. Leave any notes or anything down below. And until next time, we will see ya.